Let's talk about tariffs, and the moment a single political decision sent a shockwave through the fizzy heart of American culture. On May 30th, 2025, President Trump doubled tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, from 25% to a jaw-dropping 50%. And get this, the new rate was set to take effect in less than a week. His message? We're not building this country with inferior imported metal. For Coca-Cola, this wasn't just a headline, it was an existential threat. Atlanta headquarters went into full-blown crisis mode overnight. Strategic plans? Out the window. The entire year's financial forecasts? Practically fiction now. This wasn't a minor hiccup. It threatened massive price hikes or profits in Coke's biggest market. Almost instantly, the aluminum can became the face of America's new trade war. A can of Coke wasn't just a drink anymore, it was a political football. On one side, a president determined to revive American industry. On the other, a corporate icon with a global supply chain now under fire. And here's why this hit so hard. Aluminum cans are the backbone of the beverage industry. Lightweight, durable, essential. But most of the aluminum, not American. In fact, about 80% of the metal in those cans comes from places like Canada and Brazil. Domestic production just can't keep up. Building new U.S. smelters? That's billions of dollars in years away, minimum. When the government targets these imports, it's basically taxing American companies with no real alternative. For Coke, the cost of their most important packaging just became a wild variable. The business case for aluminum cans depends on stable, global trade. A 50% tariff? That's a deal breaker. Now, Coke had already survived a 25% tariff in 2023 by bumping prices a few percent, annoying but manageable. But 50%? That's a migraine. Suddenly, each can cost 34 cents more. With billions of cans sold every year, those pennies turn into hundreds of millions in unexpected costs. Pass it all to the shopper, that would mean a 10-15% price jump, commercial suicide in a market this competitive. So CEO James Quincy rushed into damage control, lobbying the White House and Congress for relief. But the administration was unmoved, sticking to their Buy American guns, even though the US simply can't make enough aluminum for the industry. Switching to plastic bottles? That would spark a PR firestorm since Coke's already slammed as the world's top plastic polluter. Glass? Too heavy and fragile. Every alternative was a dead end. With no good choices, Coke was stuck. Pass on the cost and risk losing loyal fans, or take the hit and watch US profits bleed. Most likely, they'd do a bit of both, but either way, the era of cheap, predictable soda was over. The shockwaves didn't stop with Coke. Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, even soup and pet food makers were all caught in the same storm. Politicians warned of higher prices on every canned good. Consumer groups called it a tax on families. Meanwhile, protectionists and some unions cheered, hoping for a US manufacturing revival. The result? A deep public divide. For the market, it was chaos. Even safe stocks like Coke were suddenly risky. For the average shopper, it meant one thing: prices for everyday goods were no longer stable. The humble can of Coke, once a symbol of American capitalism, now showed just how deeply global politics can hit us right at home. So next time you crack open a Coke, remember, it's not just a drink, it's a snapshot of the world, caught between protectionism and global trade. And what it represents has changed forever.